Alright folks, this is Jason here. Wanted to just give you a quick demonstration of how to use jQuery dialog. And so we'll just go ahead and get started. I've went ahead and done some of the prep work here. So you see here I added, you have jQuery, which exists. I'll show you here. You'll need jQuery UI, and you can just go to jQuery's website and here and download from jQuery user interface. I've already done that. And then add it to your solution. So here's the CSS for it and all of the associated images for jQuery UI. And then you have to add jQuery UI JavaScript. That's also already been added. And here in my layout, here's the references that have been added. Here's the jQuery UI. And it did custom because I selected smoothness. There's different options when you set this up. It's right here, I'll show you. So if you pick something other than, I think UI lightness is the default. You pick something different, then it'll generate .custom. And then I added the jQuery UI JavaScript. And pretty much it. So there's all my scripts. And so here I have a view. I'll show you the site real quick. So we've got, so there's my MVC application running. And so I have home, about, contact, and I added this view, jQuery Modal Dialog. It's just a simple basic view right now with nothing in it. I did actually, if I refresh, should have a button now. I added a button, and then we'll go from here, and I'll help you with seeing how you can add a dialog. So there we go. So we have a button. So we have a basic view with a button, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a dialog. So when you click the button, a dialog pops up. So you need to add a div. And give that div an ID. If I can spell. And I'll give it a title. And I want it to be hidden until you click. So you add this element, style, display none. If you wanted it to show on load, you could do that as well and remove the style display equals none. So, and then I'll put a little bit of content. This is a test jQuery Modal Dialog. And so from there, you'll need to add the JavaScript. You need to add your that's my document ready, the short and condensed jQuery version of it. And so we have our div, which is going to be our modal dialog, and its ID is dialog, and then the button's dialog, sorry, the button's ID is button dialog. So I'm going to grab that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have on click, button dialog dot click. On click, we want to have the div dialog to pop up. And so there's the basic jQuery. That's all you need to start with, and that'll give you a dialog. And this is not a modal to start with. You have to add modal. But let me refresh this. So we're refreshed, and so you notice the div is hidden. And if you click it, there we have the dialog title. And if we go back to the HTML, so the dialog title came from here, and this paragraph comes in here. So you can close it, and so there you go. That's your first dialog. And then if you wanted it to be modal, then you just add that property, refresh, and now you see the screen goes gray, and it said now it's a modal dialog. So that concludes this tutorial on basic jQuery modal dialog. I'll try to post a couple more and just go a little bit more in depth, because you can add a lot of functionality within a modal dialog. So we'll try to get to some of that in the future. Thanks for watching.